The focus of the panel this morning has been Euroscepticism and differentiated integration being or not a good answer to it. However, member states may have very diverse position on differentiated integration, and in particular between those countries who aspire to be in the fast lane and those who are afraid to be left in the slow lane. So against this background, what do you think the position of the two upcoming presidencies of the European semester, Croatia and Germany, may differ in terms of position on differentiated integration? And secondly, and related to this, what do you think is the implication for this in the future debate on the reform of the European Union?
Okay, I think that the differentiated integration is a central theme. And if we relate to the division between slow lane and fast lane countries, Croatia would be in the slow lane and Germany, well, generally in the fast lane. But this division is, I think, too simplified, because countries can also change their opinion on differentiated integration. And Poland is a case when it acceded the European Union, it was rather hesitant with regards to differentiated integration and changed its opinion within the Eurozone crisis, and then deciding maybe not to join the Eurozone area. Germany is also having general a very positive attitude towards differentiated integration, but it is very keen on saying that it needs to be multi-speed. And I think Croatia is going to have a similar stance on that. And finally, I also think with regards to the two presidencies, I think although differentiated integration is an important measure for European integration, it will not be one of the key issues of these two presidencies. Simply, we're not going to talk about treaty changes or any major reforms, but rather more with regards to certain policies, how we can move forwards. And here the common European asylum system might be one reform that is key. And here I assume that Croatia and Germany might have a similar stance on saying that we need to do this united rather than disunited.
I think the top priority for the Croatian presidents, as is the top priority for the European Union now, is the future development of the euro. And Croatia is in a very critical position because you will be shortly joining the euro. I'm very confident of that. I'm very impressed by the preparations which are being made here for Croatia to join the euro. But equally, this is coming at the same time as the United Kingdom is leaving the European Union, a big country that was outside the euro and never wished to join. And this, I think, raises the issue for those countries which still have an opt-out, which is Denmark, or those countries which have indicated that they don't really take the obligation ultimately to join the euro that seriously, which is Sweden, perhaps Poland, that needs to be changed, and we need a reaffirmation that the ultimate objective is that all EU member states should also be members of the euro. And I think Croatia could play a very significant part in encouraging that reaffirmation.
Those countries that want to do more within the European Union should be allowed to do more. I think differentiation is a very important concept of European integration, because we've already seen in the past that this is the way European integration can advance and can improve its functioning. Look at Schengen, look at the Euro area, justice and home affairs, or the European arrest warrant. There are many areas where some countries want to advance in integration, and they should be given the possibility to do so in an inclusive kind of way and in a non-discriminatory kind of way, because everyone should be able to join the group that wants to advance integration.
Yes, the differentiated integration is definitely now on the EU's political agenda. It is seen as a way in which perhaps some member states can move faster, quicker than the others. And given the challenges that the EU has faced and the difficulty to find consensus among the member states on the big questions of integration, such as the EMU, migration or security and defense, yes, differentiated integration will be on the agenda of the Croatian and also German presidency. But what I think is now quite important and interesting is that we have a new commission which is starting, and we have also the new strategic program set by the European Council. And I think the beginning of this implementation of those strategies will be perhaps more of trying to find a common solutions that all the 28, 27 after Brexit member states can agree on and move together. And if this doesn't work, so then I think the differentiation and differentiated integration will come to the agenda. So it might be actually that it's not so much the Croatian presidency, it's not necessarily even the German presidency, but it might be the presidencies that come after that have to address that question. But of course the Commission will have an ambitious program, and they want to introduce within the first 100 days their main priorities and the big innovations and projects. So of course that discussion and debate will then lead to the question whether there needs to be more differentiated integration or whether the EU can move with all the member states forward.
Definitely Germany and Croatia have different positions and different perspectives on differentiated integration. To put it very simply, we can distinguish member states according to whether they are fully integrated in the EU or differentially integrated. And we can also distinguish those that are differentially integrated between those that are differentially integrated because they want to be out of some of the policies, and other member states that are differentially integrated because they were forced to be out of some of the policies. So Germany clearly is a member state that is fully integrated, and Croatia is one that is not fully integrated and but would like to be more integrated, in the Eurozone, in the Schengen area. And for that reason, these states have different perspectives.